The Bates family, who are adored for their huge family life and faith-filled journey, have received devastating news that has left fans and loved ones completely devastated. After giving birth to her third child, Lydia Bates, one of the younger daughters in the well-known Bates dynasty, is reportedly in severe condition. Tragically, what should have been a happy celebration of life has devolved into a nightmare, including anxiety, uncertainty, and fervent prayers for her recovery. Family insiders claim that when Lydia gave birth, the situation unexpectedly changed. Despite the baby's safe arrival, problems started to arise almost immediately. According to people close to the Bates family, Lydia was in serious medical distress and needed emergency care. Doctors and nurses worked non-stop to stabilize her. She is currently being closely monitored in the intensive care unit, where her loved ones feel as though every hour is a lifetime. Known for their close-knit relationship and reliance on faith in trying times, the Bates family has come together to support Lydia during this scary time. There have been reports of family members coming and going from the hospital, some of them clearly upset and clinging to one another for support. Without giving away too much, the Bates siblings' social media posts have alluded to the seriousness of the issue and asked followers to offer up heartfelt prayers for Lydia's recovery and fortitude. Many people who have joyfully and admiringly followed Lydia's path into parenthood are shocked by this unexpected health problem. She has been posting pictures of her expanding family on the internet over the last 5 years, frequently discussing the joys and difficulties of parenting while maintaining her religious convictions. Supporters anticipated that she would experience another chapter of happiness with the birth of her third child. Rather, followers are inconsolable and devastated after learning of her dire health. Support messages have been pouring in from all throughout the nation and beyond, with thousands of people saturating social media with words of solidarity, prayer, and encouragement. Many long-standing fans of the Bates family have said that they have a strong emotional connection to Lydia's tale since they have seen her mature and adjust to her new roles as a wife and mother. They find this sorrow to be intimate, akin to witnessing the suffering of a close friend. Although doctors have not yet issued a comprehensive statement regarding Lydia's status, people who are familiar with the issues that arise after childbirth are aware of how easily things can go out of control. According to medical authorities, she might have experienced severe bleeding, an infection, or another postpartum emergency, conditions that can quickly become life-threatening. As supporters anxiously await any indication of hope, the dearth of official announcements has just heightened the anxiety and conjecture. The Bates family has always relied heavily on their faith, and they are now more than ever depending on it during this tragic time. Online groups have come together to support Lydia in spirit and mind, and prayer chains have started to circulate. Many people find this tragedy to be a sad reminder that, even in this day and technology, life is fragile and delivery is unpredictable. All eyes are on the family's updates as the hours go by. The joy of having a new life has been overshadowed by anxiety and uncertainty about whether the young mother will survive, even though the infant is said to be secure and healthy. The scenario is a bittersweet reality that weighs hard on everyone who cares about Lydia. The husband of Lydia, who is currently dealing with the intense emotions of welcoming a new baby while worrying for his wife's life, has also received a lot of sympathy from fans. Many parents may relate to the dichotomy of happiness and sadness because they recognize how fleeting these moments can be. Reminding him that he is not fighting this battle alone and that there are numerous people praying for him, supporters are pushing him to remain strong. Love, tenacity, and faith have always been central to the Bates family's narrative. However, this new chapter is definitely one of their most difficult to date. Fans everywhere are joining together in the hopes that Lydia will fully recover and come home to her family, including the sweet infant who now needs her more than ever, whether through public expressions of support, private prayers, or tears. The world waits for now. Every little bit of positive news is treasured, and every update feels monumental. Despite being devastated and shaken, the Bates family has not wavered in their faith that Lydia would survive. Her struggle for survival is evidence of her resilience and the steadfast devotion of her family and supporters. In the Bates family's history, what should have been one of the happiest days has turned into one of the most tragic. And thousands of people's prayers resound in unison while Lydia fights on in critical condition, sending a straightforward yet impactful message. Lydia, keep going. You are cherished. We need you. You're not by yourself. Lydia Bates, star of Bringing Up Bates, has been posting encouraging news about her family. The 26-year-old mother frequently shares her son Riker's early life experiences on social media. Recently, she also used YouTube to respond to some of the most often asked fan questions. One of them discusses her approach to dealing with online bullies and rumors. Bringing Up Bates. Following her miscarriage, Lydia Bates also discusses the baby. In her most recent vlog, Lydia addressed a number of topics, including her intentions to conceive after her miscarriage. The Bringing Up Bates star claims that she would adore having more children. She added that they are making every effort to maintain their happiness following a tragic loss. And if she ever had a rainbow baby, she would share the big news. In February, Lydia lost her baby. She even took pictures at the Bates family's yearly I Love You Day when they announced their pregnancy. But after she spent many hours in the emergency room due to excruciating pain, which finally resulted in her miscarriage, things took a tragic turn. However, Trace and Lydia maintained their faith in spite of the loss. In the same Q&A video, Lydia talks about how she handles online trolls. When a fan asked Lydia how she handles rumors and online trolls, Lydia responded. The Bringing Up Bates star claims that she prefers to ignore the majority of online criticism. "I try not to read them and I try not to respond to them," she said before saying that she and Trace would only address issues if they were big. Lydia Bates also took the opportunity to address the immigration issues with her family. She said that everything has been a very slow process, explaining that it's something that they've been wanting to avoid talking about as it involves sensitive topics and people have different opinions regarding the system. Bringing Up Bates, Lydia Bates shares favorite part of being a mom. Lydia also talked about some of the things she liked as a mom. The Bringing Up Bates star said that she loves everything about it. She even revealed that the first thing she always wanted to do each day was to have fun with Raker. "I could spend every day going little walks, feeding him new little foods, exploring things with him," she added. Lydia Bates later revealed their big trip with her family in June. Trace's wife also admitted that they are more of a last-minute traveler, implying that they may have more getaways before June. In a world where social media platforms are constantly evolving and shaping our digital landscape, the effects of online interactions on mental health have become a growing concern. Among the most harmful aspects of the internet's vast ecosystem is the phenomenon of online trolling. For many influencers, celebrities, and individuals in the public eye, dealing with internet trolls has become part of their daily lives. One person who has found her own way to navigate these turbulent waters is Lydia Bates, a well-known influencer and content creator with a loyal following across multiple platforms. Lydia Bates, like many influencers, has experienced the highs and lows of social media. Her engaging personality, relatable content, and positive outlook have earned her a large fan base. However, her journey to social media success hasn't been without its share of challenges, including the inevitable encounters with internet trolls. In a candid conversation, Lydia recently shared how she manages these negative encounters, offering insight into the ways she maintains her mental health and positive mindset in an increasingly toxic online environment. Internet trolling, a term that refers to the act of posting inflammatory, rude, or off-topic messages online to provoke others, has been around for nearly as long as the internet itself. With the explosion of social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, trolling has become more prominent than ever. For creators like Lydia Bates, who have a large following, trolling often manifests in the form of hurtful comments, cyberbullying, and even personal attacks. At its core, trolling thrives on anonymity. Many trolls feel empowered by the ability to hide behind fake profiles or anonymous usernames, making it easier for them to target others with hateful or hurtful messages without facing real-world consequences. For individuals like Lydia, who are constantly in the public eye, the anonymity of the internet creates a breeding ground for negativity and vitriol. While the experience of dealing with trolls is hardly new for Lydia, she admits that when she first started gaining attention online, the harsh comments were difficult to ignore. Like many people, she was initially hurt by negative feedback, questioning her worth and self-esteem. However, over time, Lydia began to learn how to process these interactions in a healthier way, ultimately transforming her approach to internet trolling, building emotional resilience. One of the most important lessons Lydia has learned over the years is the power of emotional resilience. She acknowledges that being in the public eye means that some people will inevitably criticize her, whether it's about her appearance, her opinions, or even the way she lives her life. Instead of internalizing these negative comments, Lydia has worked hard to build emotional strength by focusing on her own well-being and remembering that trolls often attack from a place of their own insecurities. I had to realize that these people don't know me personally. Lydia explains, their opinions are based on what they see on a screen, and more often than not, they are projecting their own issues onto me. Lydia emphasizes that emotional resilience isn't about suppressing one's emotions, but learning how to manage them effectively. She learned to take a step back when confronted with hate and try to understand that the troll's words are not a reflection of her true worth. I know that if they were in a better place emotionally, they wouldn't feel the need to lash out. She says the process of building resilience is ongoing. But Lydia notes that it has made a significant difference in her mental health. It has also made her more empathetic toward others who experience similar online harassment. By focusing on the bigger picture and not allowing herself to be defined by strangers' negative opinions, Lydia has been able to develop a more balanced perspective on internet interactions. Setting boundaries and self-care for Lydia Bates. Self-care plays a crucial role in protecting her mental health from the toxicity of internet trolls. One of the key strategies she has implemented is setting boundaries online. While it might seem counterintuitive for someone who thrives on social media engagement, Lydia knows the importance of knowing when to step back and take a break. Social media can be all-consuming, Lydia admits. When you're constantly receiving notifications, it's hard not to let them affect you. To manage this, she has set clear boundaries regarding her online presence. She makes it a habit to disconnect from her phone or computer for periods throughout the day, particularly after reading negative comments or receiving personal attacks. Lydia also emphasizes the importance of self-care practices such as meditation, journaling, and spending time with close friends and family. By engaging in activities that promote relaxation and mindfulness, Lydia ensures that she remains grounded and centered even in the face of online criticism. I've learned that the more I take care of myself in the real world, the less I'm impacted by the negativity online, she shares. I make sure I'm surrounded by people who lift me up and remind me of my worth. That makes a huge difference. Another important aspect of Lydia's strategy for dealing with trolls is creating a supportive, positive online environment. Although she is unable to control the actions of others, Lydia makes a conscious effort to curate her online spaces in ways that foster positivity. For example, she actively engages with her loyal followers, taking time to reply to uplifting comments and messages that promote kindness and inclusivity. I try to spend more time focusing on the people who are supportive and kind. Lydia says, it's easy to get caught up in the negativity, but when you have a community of people who genuinely care about you, it makes all the difference. Lydia also shares her experiences with trolls openly with her followers, using her platform to raise awareness about the harmful effects of online harassment. By speaking out, she hopes to inspire others to stand up against trolling and create safer, more supportive online communities. Sometimes it's not enough to just ignore the trolls, she explains. We need to use our platforms for good, to educate people about the impact their words can have. By sharing my experiences, I hope to encourage others to think before they post and to treat people with more empathy. One of the most transformative changes Lydia has experienced in her approach to internet trolls is the ability to shift her perspective. Rather than focusing on the hurtful comments or criticism, Lydia has learned to reframe the situation in a way that empowers her. Instead of feeling personally attacked, she now views trolls as individuals who are often struggling with their own issues. It's hard to be angry at someone when you realize that their trolling is coming from a place of pain. Lydia reflects, I try to remember that hurt people hurt people. I decide to react with compassion rather than with more negativity. Sometimes I simply decide not to reply at all. This change in perspective has not only made it easier for Lydia to cope with trolls, but it has also made it possible for her to find calm in previously anxious situations. It's a strategy based on empathy and understanding, which has helped Lydia stay true to herself and keep her peace of mind in an often overwhelming digital world. Even though Lydia is prepared to handle online trolls, she is not alone in her struggles. She attributes a large portion of her emotional fortitude and capacity to cope with negative to her robust support network. Lydia has found strength in her interactions with people, whether they are her family, close friends, or other influences who are aware of the difficulties of being in the spotlight. Lydia says, "My family and friends have been really encouraging during this journey. They serve as a reminder that the opinions of trolls are merely noise and that they do not define me. They assist me in maintaining my concentration on the important things." Lydia also keeps up a network with other influencers who offer guidance and assistance as required. "Talking to someone who understands exactly what you're going through is really comforting," she says. "When things go hard, we support one another, vent to one another, and exchange advice." Lydia is now an advocate for online safety and anti-bullying campaigns as her platform keeps expanding. She understands that trolling can have major repercussions for the target in addition to being emotionally harmful. Lydia wants to raise awareness of the value of making online environments safer and inspire others to take action against cyberbullying through her advocacy activities. "I've always thought that I should use my position for the greater good." In her work with anti-bullying organizations and campaigns, Lydia uses her voice to encourage others to speak out against bullying and to put kindness above cruelty. She says, "The more we talk about these issues and bring awareness to them, the more we can change the narrative around online harassment." She exhorts her followers to inform others about the negative impacts of cyberbullying and to report trolls. For people in the public eye, dealing with internet trolls is an unavoidable aspect of life. But for Lydia Bates, overcoming this difficult social media feature has been a path of self-care, resiliency, and personal development. Lydia has discovered strategies to safeguard her mental health while thriving in the virtual world by cultivating emotional resilience, establishing boundaries, surrounding herself with positive people, and keeping a network of helpful people. Even while there will always be trolls online, Lydia's experience serves as a reminder that we don't have to be defined by their nasty remarks. We can all cut through the clutter and concentrate on what really counts: kindness, connection, and the pursuit of happiness, by having empathy, understanding, and a sound viewpoint. The Romick family was given 4 weeks to leave the nation and return to Germany, but they were given an extension to remain in the United States for an additional year. The decision by Immigration and Customs Enforcement to postpone their deportation will take effect on October 11th. Since homeschooling is prohibited in their home country, Hugh and Hannah Rowe, who are evangelical Christians, relocated to East Tennessee in 2008 with 5 of their children. The United States is where their 2 youngest children were born. One of Gil and Kelly Bates' sons, Trace Bates, is the husband of their eldest daughter, Lydia. The family was supported by the homeschooling community. This is fantastic news. Our friends on Capitol Hill tell us that your calls, your petition signatures, and your outreach to Congress on this topic are directly responsible for this result. The Homeschool Legal Defense Association's executive director, Joel Grew, posted on the group's website. "The IC officer in Knoxville, with whom I had a direct conversation, informed me that we should expect them to extend the order of supervision for an additional year. Although we are extremely appreciative of this news, we will keep pushing for a long-term solution that will provide the Romick family to remain in the United States permanently." Kevin Bowden, an HSLDA lawyer, informed Grew. Legislators from Tennessee even became engaged in the matter. More than 100,000 members of the community signed a petition to the Joe Biden administration requesting that officials restore the Romick family's deferred action status after learning that they were being deported. In addition, 45 lawmakers from Tennessee signed a letter requesting that the family not be deported. The letter said, "We are requesting that you and your office allow this family to continue constructing their lives in Tennessee. According to what we hear, a court has decided that they can remain forever as long as they comply with the ICC's check-in requirements. They have been faithful in doing so, as far as we know. Still, this is really a short-term circumstance. It seems too harsh and needless to approve this family, who have been making several contributions to our city, county, and state." The letter continued, "As time is of the essence, we ask that a review of their circumstances be made and at least give this family more time. At least for now, they have been given that extra time, but it feels like this case is far from over. The Rome aren't legal US citizens. The Romick family doesn't have legal immigrant status in the United States. Instead, they have been allowed to stay in the country on indefinite deferred action status, which according to the Tennessean allows for prosecutorial discretion in decisions to deport individuals. In 2010, a judge granted them asylum because they had a well-founded fear of persecution by the German government for wanting to homeschool and were facing $9,000 in fines. The U.S. Department of Justice appealed the decision, and in 2012, the U.S. Board of Immigration Appeals revoked their asylum status. Their indefinite deferred action status means they could be asked to head back to Germany with little notice. Lydia is married to a reality TV personality. When the Romick family moved to Tennessee in 2008, they had 5 children who would also face deportation. Their 2 youngest daughters were born in Tennessee, and a U.S. citizen's oldest daughter Lydia is married to Trace, and they welcomed their first child together, a son named Raker, this year. In an unexpected twist of fate that has captured the attention of reality TV fans and political observers alike, the friends of the Bates family from the popular TLC show Bringing Up Bates have been granted a temporary reprieve from deportation. This decision comes after an extensive legal battle that has drawn widespread media attention, as the Bates family's ties to the immigration system and the challenges of living as undocumented immigrants have been thrust into the spotlight. The Bates family, a well-known clan from the reality show Bringing Up Bates, has always been a source of intrigue for fans. The show, which documents the day-to-day life of Gil and Kelly Jo Bates and their 19 children, paints a picture of a large, tight-knit, and deeply religious family. Over the years, the Bates family has cultivated a significant fan base, largely due to their values of conservative Christianity, homeschooling, and strong family ties. However, behind the scenes, the family circle of friends has been dealing with more than just the day-to-day struggles of raising children. They've been grappling with the harsh realities of the U.S. immigration system. The case that has garnered so much attention involves the family's longtime friends who have been living in the U.S. for several years without legal immigration status. These friends have become integral parts of the Bates family's life, serving as caretakers, workers, and close confidants. Over the years, their involvement in the Bates household has been so deep that the family has considered them almost as close as relatives. Yet despite their close ties and years of residence in the U.S., these individuals are now facing the looming threat of deportation. The legal journey leading up to the temporary stay has been long and fraught with challenges. It all began several months ago when the friends who had come to the U.S. from Central America seeking a better life received a notice from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement stating that they would soon be deported. The news shocked the Bates family, who had relied heavily on these individuals for support and assistance over the years. A nation divided. The deportation of the Bates family's friends comes at a time when immigration is a hot-button issue in the U.S. The country remains deeply divided over how to handle the millions of undocumented immigrants who live and work in the U.S. While some advocate for a more compassionate approach, arguing that many of these individuals are simply seeking a better life, others call for stricter enforcement of immigration laws. For the Bates family, the stakes are personal. As devout Christians, they believe in extending love and compassion to those who are in need, regardless of their legal status. The family has always been vocal about their beliefs in treating others with kindness, and many of their fans have applauded their approach to accepting people from all walks of life. However, as much as the Bates family has tried to advocate for their friends, the legal system has been unyielding. The family's friends have faced numerous hurdles, including having their requests for asylum denied, and have been living in fear of being deported back to a country they fled due to violence and instability. This fear was not without cause. The friends, whose identities had been kept private to avoid further legal complications, had originally come to the U.S. seeking refuge from dangerous circumstances in their home countries. As undocumented immigrants, they had little recourse in the face of the ever-present threat of deportation. The possibility of being sent back to a country in which they could face persecution, violence, or even death was a reality that haunted them daily. After months of legal maneuvering, it was announced that the Bates family's friends had been granted a 1-year stay of deportation. This was a significant victory for the individuals involved, as it provided them with some much-needed breathing room and a chance to continue their lives in the U.S. while they pursued further legal avenues to remain in the country. The legal team representing the Bates family's friends worked tirelessly to present their case to immigration authorities, arguing that the individuals in question had deep ties to the community, were gainfully employed, and had no criminal history. The team also emphasized the dangers that awaited them should they be deported, citing political instability, gang violence, and a lack of basic human rights in their home countries. For many, the granting of this one-year reprieve is seen as a rare victory in an otherwise grim landscape for undocumented immigrants in the US. While it does not